So hello everybody, welcome to today's webinar. As Anna mentioned, we will cover how to create pipes for different applications like architecture and industrial design. For today's lecture, I created 3 small demo files. As you can see, a simple house. For example, for pipe planning, I will show you the process, how to lay out the paths and then create the pipes, as well as some tricks. I also have a nice set of different demo parts to show you how we could create different pipe intersections, let's say like a T, create pipes that go at different angles, as well as shelling pipes and creating connection elements. And then at the end, I will show you also how we can create very organic pipes by utilizing a solid object edge for the sweep command. Okay, so let's start with the architecture part. So I will show you how I created all these different red objects. So let me quickly delete this. So in heating and cooling, for commercial as well as residential application, pipes are always made out of straight parts. Also the connection parts in the direction. Most times pipes obviously run horizontal, and when they go up and down, most times they go vertical. That actually simplifies how we could approach creating a visualization of these sketches. To have the pipes kind of like where I had them before, I need to create a sketch in that area. So let's say we are in top view. You see that the grid is lined up on the bottom. To be able now to draw where I had the original pipes, I can go to Add, go to Construction Plane, select the ground, select Next, and then I could create a construction plane right at the height where, for example, I need it. Select Done. Very good. Now it's time to figure out from where to where do these pipes actually run. To switch now to this construction plane, you see the grid is still on the ground. With the pencil, select the grid, with a finger double tap, and then Shaper kind of like switches to the plane and aligns the construction grid to there. To make working a little bit easier, I will go now to the groups or the overview of my files, go to planes and turn off that plane. I don't need it at the moment anymore. So let's say here is going to be my first plane. First pipe, I mean. And here will be the next. And then I have a straight section here. For example, it goes through the wall to somewhere else. I can put these lines down, but what I need to figure out now in the next step is between these endpoints, I need to be able to put in a nice arc. So with the pencil, I can draw an arc from there to there. See, these lines are connected. I select one line, one arc, and on the right side, I can select tangent. I want to make sure also that this line is vertical aligned on the sketch, not vertical aligned in 3D space, and this line is horizontally. And then the arc to this line is tangent to. What radius do we have here? Let's say 0.3. Okay, good. Let's go with this. Which means now when this is 0.3, I want to have the same there. This point, I will have to move down a little bit. This line I will make horizontal. Select this point, move it to the right. And then I can create another arc. Connect this, for example, there and there. Then again, I will do a tangent. You see that adjust that part. I can select the arc, specify that is 0.3 inch, and this point of the arc and the line we connect, and then also say tangent. So now I have a very, very good flow, as you can see. We have here where the tangent lines, that is good. So I want to have not only one pipe, I want to have 2 or 3 parallel pipes. Let's say this is, for example, a water line that goes to multiple rooms. There are multiple ways how we could do this. So this is one path that is complete. If I now go to this endpoint, I can create myself a circle. Then I select this endpoint and move it to the start point of that line. Let's say 0.05. That's the thickness of the pipe. Oh, we can make it a tick bigger, 0.1. That's easier to see. Now the orientation is obviously not correct. But I created the circle, moved it to the start point, and now I will rotate the circle so I can use it with the sweep command. So go to move, select the circle, go into a 3D view, and then simply use the correct rotation element to rotate it 90 degrees. Because now I can go ahead and say sweep this along this line, this arc, this line, this arc, this line. Very good. Now let me show you how we can do 2 more kind of like offset or parallel pipes running along it. I will hit cancel, so we don't have that geometry there, and we only see the sketch. So obviously the logical thought would be, well, I need to create offsets actually of these sketches. So when I go back to the sketch tool, I have offset here. I can offset this 0.2, so we have a gap. This way 0.2, and let's do the same here as well. And this way. Whoa, 0.2 there. Very good. What's missing are the connection lines, and also how this terminates at the end. Oh. There and there. I could run them to the end, make a line or something, but if we extrude, we can also, how could I say that, adjust, for example, the length of the pipes. If we want to be a little bit more specific, I could lock this point, unlock that point. I lock this point. Now these 2 lines I created, I would like to be the same like this one. And I can do this with the equal command. See, all lines are now equal. If I move this, they all move at the same time. Pretty nice. And then the last thing that is missing is also here, do a line. And I do this line on purpose at an angle. Connect it. Move this for the moment. It is quite often a good process when you do these types of constructions. I will lock these points. So when I select now this line, the start point is locked. And when I say horizontal, it just rotates it. I could also say here, this one I lock. And now when I select these 3 lines and say equal, See, these other two lines are equal as this line. And now go ahead with another circle exercise there and another circle there. This circle is 0.1. Maybe these two we make a tick smaller. So 0.09. And these two I can select also here, say equal. Pretty cool. We do the same trick. Go to move and select those two circles. Because they are created and then moved right where they actually should be at the end of this or these two lines, I can just rotate it, and now they will rotate right in the correct position there. And now I can select the sweep command, select this one, and then hit next and select my lines. Then I hit done, and I do everything with the next one. But as you see, I didn't finish this correctly because I would like to show you something. What I showed you is logically and works, but you don't actually necessarily have to do it. When we have one path for the sweep, that's all we need, and then we can create multiple profiles to sweep along. And the distance between these 2 points, so that offset, is actually all we need now to sweep 3 pipes along one path. So I select all 3 profiles, select this line. You see there's the straight, there's the corner, there's the straight, there's the corner, and there's the next straight. Done. Oh, awesome. So a nice shortcut, and you get exactly the same result. Okay, so this was, for example, a quick exercise into when you have to create a visualization where water pipes or heating pipes or something would be inside an architectural space by utilizing the construction plane and then creating sketches and then the sweep command to create your pipes. So let's go to my pipes folder. I will show you now these different techniques, how to create T-section, how to create a pipe that goes along different directions. With this exercise, what I will show you, what happens if you have 2 pipes at different locations and we want to reposition them so we can put in a perfect corner connection. And then I will also show you how do we create a corner connection that goes actually over these pipes. Because this is pipe 1, pipe 2, and that's a corner part. Okay, so I will create a new file so it's easier to take a look at. And I'm in inches. I'm not really paying attention right now to the dimensions because essentially what I'm trying to show you is the process, and based on your project, then you just have to be more specific with the dimension part. But I try to model everything kind of like big so it's easy to see. So we know when we want to create a pipe that goes around a 90-degree corner, ideally we want to have a layout like this, and then we can put an arc in between. I could select the line and arc, and do the tangent. I skip this step because everything by using the grid, which I know the arc and lines are all tangent to each other, which is a very good reminder to you to really make use of the grid. So the grid snapping, very good. So that looks pretty good. We know if we want to run a pipe along it, we could create a construction plane, for example, perpendicular to a curve. So along this curve or line, whoops, I didn't actually specify it. There it is. Now on this plane, when I double tap it, I could create the circle. But you see in the previous exercise, I didn't really do this. I simply in 2D drew my circle where I need it. There. And we can make it as big as we want. And then this endpoint, because I'm still working in this on the same plane and in 2D, I snap this and no, I just simply rotate it. So essentially it's the same end result like using the construction plane. It simply saves me a little step. So let's rotate this one 90 degrees. No, that's not 90 degrees. Let's do this one more time. There. And 90. Very good. Okay. We will go to Tools and Sweep. This, we sweep along this line, this line, this line. Very good. So now I want to make the pipe go vertical. So far the pipe is horizontal. Here's a little trick to make this easier. I could again, right at this line, create a construction plane. So what I mean is we go to construction plane. This time we use through edge at an angle. So along this or through this edge, create myself a construction plane at 90 degrees. Okay. Then I could select this construction plane with my finger, double tap there. And now I could try to create a sketch that flows into it. But what will be a lot easier is actually, if I know the dimensions, etc., I continue working here. So let's say I do this and this. Then I create an arc and an arc. Again, I'm using the grid, so I know they are all perfectly lined up. So here comes the trick now. We'll go to transform and move, select all these new elements. And then the center of rotation, I move to the beginning of where also this edge is. Then with one finger, I go into a 3D view and then just rotate this one simply up 90 degrees. See, so much easier. It's a little bit more intuitive. I could delete this body and then sweep everything again. However, with the endpoint of this pipe, I could also go sweep, select this face, next, and continue sweeping a new object right from the end of that part. Very good. Okay, so now I have part 1 and part 2, as you can see. Now I have to, let's say, rotate everything not 90 degrees or horizontal or vertical, but it has to go at a 45-degree angle. But again, I will just have a nice 90-degree angle between two straight sections. Now, because everything was swept at once, this is one body. So while we know that where my pencil is right now, or where I'm tapping, that actually looks like a straight section, but the CAD software cannot see this as a cylinder. And that's problematic because if I go, say, construction axis and say through a cylinder, there's nothing I can click. I'm going to use a little workaround. What we simply do is go to Tools, Extrude, and then this end cap, we simply extrude a little bit. Now this is as an object, as a single object, a true cylinder. That one we can use to create an axis through a cylinder. Click it there. And you see there's a line. This object was just a helper, so we will remove it. And now we can go add construction plane and through edge at an angle there. Before I continue, let's go to the top view so it's easier to see how the orientation goes. So this should go 45° up. There, we selected axis, 45°, very good. Done, nice. Okay, when I select the plane with my finger, double tap, the grid is being adjusted to it. So the tricky part is now, well, how can I create a sketch that runs perfectly into it? Because I have a geometry, but no sketch to really align to. And here's a nice little tip. We go to the sketch tool, then we go, oh no, sorry, not sketch tool, we go to tools and we go to project. Then we select the outer ring of the edge of the pipe, click next and say project onto this plane. Done. And I will hide this body. And there you see now we have a line. And essentially the circular end of the pipe got flattened to a line. And what's useful with a line is, well, it gives us a midpoint. Right now the whole design is a little bit confusing, so I will hide all the individual axes and construction planes. I will also go to sketches and hide the previous sketches so we don't see them. Now I can create a line. And there you see there's the midpoint. This point I can move and snap to that midpoint. And when I select it and say horizontal or vertical, it will be straight now. Now here's one thing to be careful about. It did not happen in this case, but I want to prevent that this line moves. So this line I select and lock first. And then when I create a line and snap it to the midpoint and set this line horizontal, only this line adjusts and not this line. Very good. So I could create another set of sketches. Here I will do now everything via the tangent constraints. This line and this line I do tangent to. You see that this line which I created to the other side, that actually runs into the pipe, because I need this kind of like as a path, so that no thanks, I'm right-handed, so that this arc runs tangent to this line. So this is just only a helper. Very good. Now if we want to continue this game, we can just draw another element, another arc out. Maybe here, this one now we do at an angle there, and then this line onto here, be tangent, this to there, be tangent. Very good. I will hide this. This line we don't need anymore, so I will remove it. And as before, we can then go to tools and go to sweep. Select the cap, next. And then we simply select the individual elements. Done. Very good. Let's reset our view. To create now a pipe, first what we want to do is obviously join all these elements. Very good. And then tools and shell. Select this cap and this end. So both sides of this solid rod next, and then 0.1. Yeah, we'll make this 0.4 so it's easier to see. Done. And there is our pipe. Very good. See, that wasn't very, very difficult. Okay, so next pipe idea. How do we do a pipe where we have two pipe elements and then a cover? This is actually also pretty simple. Just a little bit of pre-planning is important. I draw myself a line here and a line there, and I will create a circle. And then this circle I will make pretty big. Okay, very good. And I do exactly the same here. And also there. Make this one as big as needed. Now this one I will rotate 90 degrees. There. Then select this one and rotate. Oh, okay. Let's do this. Then single and just rotate it both. I thought I had it deselected. There, 90, please. Okay. These tubes I can now extrude by 5. Okay. So you see I'm using the grid here and 5 here too. Because you see that these two pipes are kind of like touching each other there right now. Okay, so now between this face and that face, I would like to create kind of like a lofted part, but then it should also go over these parts maybe. So how do I do this? This is again now where, because I work on one plane, tools and project comes in very handy. So this and this project onto this plane. So I just, with the pencil, tapped actually onto the grid, and you see there's a construction plane done. There we have the two lines. To make the design a little bit easier to read, I'm hiding right now these parts. And I can create my arc. I will again select the start, or I select these two lines and make sure these lines are locked so that this arc to this line can be tangent. And here too. Very good. There. And then with this arc perfectly created, sweep this along there. There we have this perfect set. Awesome. Now let's go ahead, union, select these three elements, join them, and then we will also shell them. So one side, the other side, shell by 0.2, 0.5. Okay, 0.5 looks nicer. Let's do a cut section view. And you see, even when we then shell the inside, while this is on the outside, it's actually a point, and the inside, you see, it is actually a nice arc. So when we redo this tab and then go to shell again, and this time maybe 0.5. Oh, that's actually what I had. 1. Let's go 2. So it's better to see. Yeah, there you see how the inside is a nice arc. Very good. So that is like a good corner piece. The distance was 1. So how do we create actually the pipes that go into that construction? This is where our existing sketches here will be very useful. We go to sketch and offset. This one, I go in by 2. Let me double check. Yep. And then we do the same here. See, we do not need, when we do the offset, to actually switch to the individual construction plane, because this circle is flat. When we do an inner offset, it is aligned on the same construction plane. Very good. Then this we could extrude in by 5. But let's say we make this 10 long. Here again, we go 5 in. But then again, we make this 10 long. And we would like to shell it. Shell you, and this one, and this one by 1. Very good. Let's take a look with the rest. And cut section view. There we are. Pretty awesome. Okay, so that basically showed you how to do this part. Let me show you a small trick how we can align 2 pipes, and then we need to create a connection in between. In this case, I will just create somewhere a pipe. So let's say this one is 2 meters wide. That's a big pipe. And we will rotate this circle 90 degrees. Very good. And we will extrude this one 10 meters. Very good. Now, I will go to move, select this one by double tapping and select everything and not just the outer face. Select copy, move this one over, deselect copy, rotate this one there. And between these two now, I would like to create a nice connection. So I need to reposition these first, and then I need to also be able to create the arc. And essentially, it's just a variation of what we did before. So I will go with project and say this arc and this arc. So these end corners project onto the grid. Very good. This is very helpful because when we now turn these objects off, I just have these lines. And I can draw to this line. For example, a line here, there, and a line there. These two I will make perpendicular, and that's important. But before I do this again, let's one more time log this. So I know, because it's a sketch engine or sketch solver that moves stuff for me sometimes, this is all exactly the way how I want. Very good. And now I create my arc, make this tangent, and the radius here is 3. Very good. I could draw a line there. And this line will be horizontal vertical. That actually, as you can see, created a perfect quarter arc. I'm going to delete this. This could also have been done this way. See, that actually specifies kind of like the angle. Okay, and now I need to make sure that this sketch, particularly this point, will line up to that point. But I want to move the circle at the same time. So this line, if I want, I can also move to there, so it's easier to see. And we will not use the move, but we will use the translate command now. So translate, triple click or double click. Okay. Then next, and then I say from there to there. Need to make sure that this point, that's my start alignment, to my end alignment point is all correct, and click done. You see now I reposition that. This technique I showed you also works in 3D space. So check this out. I will select this pipe and simply move everything up, including the sketch. Then I go to transform, translate, double click the pipe, double click the sketch and this line, next, and then I say from there to there. Snapping is good. Yep, done. There we are. Again, all we have to do left is a sweep, this one along this. Then we go to tools, union, join those three elements, and then we will shell both sides. There, you see. Perfect. Okay. The last quick exercise is a quick demo about if you want to make T-sections. Particularly for those who, for example, would like to use Shaper to create kind of like a layer for pipes, which you then want to cut and then weld together. Or would like to learn about how to do this. So I will create, again, a nice big object. So 1 meter. I will do another circle here. There, the circle is also 1 meter. I do this on purpose. This will stay horizontal. And the left one that I will now rotate 90 degrees. Very good. Okay. And let's extrude this one out. And we do the same here. Move this one up. Very good. Okay, so we have two pipes, T connection, and they are aligned so that the end point or the lower end of this pipe really lines up kind of like at the midpoint. You can see how this really is at the midpoint. So we go to move, for example, move this one up. You see then we have a gap. That's not good. Or we extend this, then, well, we have this gap, which is not good either. So a very good practice in this case is connecting two pipes via a T-section at the same, with the same thickness requires that this pipe only intersect this pipe by 50%. Otherwise, as you see, if it's not enough or too much, it doesn't work good. I will make a quick copy of this. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Hold on 1 second. Did I make a copy? Nope. I just clicked too fast. Copy there. Very good. So we could go join these two together. Then you see now there's this nice edge, which we could simulate kind of like how this would be welded. And you see this is already going to be tricky. And let's do the shelling. By 0.5. Very good. Okay, let me go to the front view and go to the cut section so you can see what's going on. Very nice. Also here internally, this looks pretty awesome. So I will make another copy of this and then show you a variation. What would be actually more ideal. If I select this pipe, I will see this is 1 meter. This is 1 meter. Now let's make this actually smaller, 0.8. If we now join these two pipes together, I get a different edge, as you can see. It's kind of like a nice loop. And now let's shell everything. I will skip one edge on purpose so you see what happens when you only pipe by selecting, in this case, 2 from 3 edges. It just keeps then on the right side the unselected edge. So you see this is a little bit easier also to fabricate, because you need to keep in mind to insert this pipe into this pipe. On this pipe, I have to drill a hole where this one goes in and then also file the intersection correctly. This here is a little bit easier. I just drill my hole and then put this pipe in and then I weld it. So that's a quick exercise in how you can do those T-sections. Okay, so what do we have left? I think this covered everything for here. We are at 47 minutes, so let's go to the spatular model. I will delete or hide some files here so you don't see this, and then I will recreate those. So between the handle and the tip, I would like to create a wire. I could do a sketch like in this case, and then simply pipe a circle along. But what I want in this case is not just a straight connection. So from here it's maybe arced, and then from here this is linear. I want this to be nicely arced. Now we'll increase the bend a little bit. So a pretty good technique is we work with 2 profiles and then create a solid model, and then the edge we will use to create the we create an edge, and the edge we will use as the path. So we don't use a sketch, we use the edge of a solid object. So this might sound a little bit confusing. Let me create everything what I need. So this is all good. Let me hide all the other sketches we don't need. This can go, this can go. Oh, this one what we need. There. Oh, this one we need. There. Very good. Okay, so there we see the 2 important sketches. This is a solid surface. So in top view, I will extrude this one in. You didn't really see anything because I cut into my object. So I will tap the small icon and say, make me please a new body. So that this is easier to see, I will also give this one a good signal color there. Okay, very good. So I mentioned I want to have kind of like a three-dimensional path. I extrude this one out, and this edge now I want to bend or curve. And I simply do this via this sketch. So to make this operation work a little bit easier, I hide these two other objects. And then this, I cut through my first extrusion. And you see, based on this shape and how I have these profiles drawn in 2D, I will then create a representation of this in 3D. So this lines up and this lines up. Let's see, very, very easy. This currently is a straight section, which invites to create a construction plane through perpendicular to edge. So here, next, create it somewhere there. So I move this one to there. Very good. There's my construction plane. With my finger, double tap it, zoom in. Oh, there was actually one sketch already. So I thought I hit it. I will delete this one quickly. We can specify how thick this wire should be, and then this midpoint I can move around and position it to this corner. I don't have to be super precise, because you know from the first piping exercise with the 3 pipes, we can have an offset, and with the offset, well, we pipe along the edge with an offset. Very good. Then we can go back to tools and sweep this along this edge and this edge. There. Very nice. Let's hide this. We can show the other two. To make that object easier to see, I will give this a nice white, bright color. There. Okay. This is maybe a tick too long. You see it intersects with my spatula tip surface. Push this back. Very good. For the handle, this might not really be enough. So I will select this and extend it for rubber overmolded parts. There. Very good. So how do I get this over now to the other side? I need to make a mirror and copy it. This is actually very easy to do. Either via a line, or I could create a construction. So, oops, that was the wrong type. Construction, 2 points there. And from there to there. So I use the grid. Very good. And I go back to add construction plane. And now through edge at an angle. This is my edge, angle 0. Very good. See, this is right at the mirror part. Transform mirror. Double tap this whole thing. Next, copy is turned on. So I make a copy while mirroring. Done. And this might have been just be a display issue. And there, no. My 2 wires, which from the top are curved and also from the side are curved. So if you want to do then variations, essentially all we need to do is manipulate the shape of the side sketch and then the shape of the top sketch. And that basically then will specify how the transition and the flow of this wire will be. And we're 11:54, so 10 minutes over the proposed 45 minutes. And this is everything I wanted to cover today.